maybe one or two things might help out and help you get over those plateaus that we all hit. Hi, I'm Mark McKillier with Live Anabolic, and today I want to give you 4 things that you need to stop doing that might be hurting your gains in the gym. A lot of times I give you ideas that you need to do to increase your gains. Today we need to talk about things you need to stop doing that might potentially be holding you back, especially you guys that think you might have hit a plateau. Take a listen to what I'm going to say, these 4 tips, and see which ones apply to you. All right, number 1, and that is rewarding yourself with a cheat meal for a particularly hard, tough workout. You might just go, and when I say cheat meal, I mean I'm talking about bad food, all right? So that is a killer, guys. You can't pat yourself on the back and then ruin your daily nutrition by doing, some really crappy fast food, or even worse, a bunch of sugary type stuff. Part of this concept is also making sure that you get the right food in your system before and after your workout. So many of you guys are not getting protein after your workouts. That's a real critical time, kind of an hour to 2 hours after your workout. Your muscles are really needing amino acids, all right, because that protein synthesis is really trying to kick into high gear. And if you don't have much protein in your system already, you're screwed. You're basically just throwing that tough workout in the trash, all right? And same goes for you guys that are working out early in the morning fasted, all right? That's not good either. All right, if you're gonna work out early in the morning, that's fine, but make sure you get some protein and some carbs in your body. You don't have to have a big breakfast, but like a protein shake, first thing in the morning, gets digested and absorbed really quick. Get that in you before your workout, and then also get some protein and carbs after your workout. All right, number 2 is gonna apply to all you guys that love your cardio, and that is stop doing long cardio workouts after your resistance training in the gym or even at home. I much prefer you to separate your serious cardio workouts from your resistance training workouts. Like I said just a second ago, you need to be getting, lots of protein and some carbohydrates in your system after your resistance training. And you're not going to be doing that if you're going to be jogging or getting on the treadmill or Stairmaster for the next 45 minutes, all right? Same goes for you guys that like to do cardio before your workouts. I'm not talking about you guys that get on the treadmill and walk 1.5 miles just to kind of warm up. That's not it. I'm talking about guys that are doing real cardio. I recommend you separate your cardio from your workouts by at least 3 or 4 hours. Preferably do them on a different day. Now, number 3 is something that we all do on a regular basis and we don't even know we're doing that. And that is we're accidentally ingesting or absorbing harmful chemicals into our body. And there's just gazillions of them out there. Today, I want to talk about something called parabens. Parabens come in a lot of things like shampoo and soap and body wash, even toothpaste. It's an antimicrobial chemical that's used to kill the bad germs and everything, but it's added typically to water-based products. And they're in a lot of things, okay? And so a lot of times your shampoos, your soaps, your toothpaste, things like that will contain parabens. You don't even know it, but look on the back, look on the ingredient list, and it'll say if it's in there. And the problem with parabens is it's an endocrine disruptor. It can screw up your body's production of testosterone. Simple as that. So you want to avoid them if at all possible, and avoid as many as possible, all right? And along that line, you ought to look into something called Legendary Men's Care. And they have a whole bunch of different products that are designed specifically for this reason, all right? They don't have any parabens in them. They don't have any of these toxic chemicals added, all right? And it's just a way of eliminating one more kind of unnecessary thing from your system. And another reason why you should at least give them a try is you're buying all these products anyway, All right, so this is not something in addition to, all right, your monthly, payments. This is, everybody's buying shampoo and toothpaste and stuff like that. So I really recommend you give it a try and just see what you think. I've been using it. I really love the toothpaste. Tastes fantastic, actually. All right, tip 4. Probably most guys watching right now are not doing this, but some of you guys are, you gung-ho guys, and that is overtraining, all right? You need at least 2 rest days a week. And depending on how hard and how intense your workouts are and how much volume you're doing, you may need 3 workouts a week. Guys, we're not 23 anymore, okay? So it takes longer, for our muscles to recover. And that's really what they're doing. When you're working out, you're intentionally damaging muscle fibers. And the more damage we do to them, the better, because your body overcompensates when it rebuilds those muscles. And so the more damage you create, the more it overcompensates. So it gets a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger every time it heals. And of course, we just repeat that over and over hundreds and hundreds of times, and boom, that's how your muscles grow. So the problem is, it takes at least 2 to 3 days for a muscle group to repair those damaged muscle fibers. And if you work out really hard and intense, it probably takes more like 3 to 4, maybe 5 days for those muscles to recuperate. So some guys are just hitting the same muscle group too often, and hence they're not getting the full recovery and growth that you would get if you just added a little rest. And remember, on the rest days, guys, that's when you can do your cardio, all right? That's how I would recommend you separate your weight training from your cardio. All right, so 4 things hopefully you guys can incorporate into your normal daily life. I'm sure not everybody's doing all 4 things wrong, but maybe 1 or 2 things might help out and help you get over those plateaus that we all hit. And then, of course, finally, guys, you got to stick with it and never give up on yourself.